significant event of the week, the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe adopted a resolution calling the Russian regime terrorist. 90 MPs present in the hall voted for the resolution, 1 abstained. The key points of the resolution are: condemnation of the aggression of the Russian Federation and its recognition as a crime under international law, accelerating the creation of a special international tribunal for Russian war criminals, clearing international organizations of Russian agents, the question of the expediency of Russia's participation in the UN. The status of a terrorist state, for the first time assigned to Russia at such a high international level, hangs a question mark over Putin's head. Who are you anyway? Painfully similar to bin Laden, only alive and with a nuclear warhead. The longer this war lasts, the more clearly the militaristic bubble inflated by Putin and his entourage is visible. Russia has nothing and no one to fight. Of the high-precision munitions available in February, the aggressor has already used up more than 2/3. According to the head of the National Security and Defense Council Danilov, the Russian Federation has 25 to 28% of high-precision missiles left from the number that was on February 24. And the notorious mobilization, announced on September 21, could not turn the tide of the war. As we predicted, a two-legged mass of poorly armed, alcoholized serfs, who have neither combat skills nor elementary motivation, is an easy prey for the armed forces of Ukraine, well trained and modernly equipped. All that remains with Putin is a weapon of mass destruction, chemical, bacteriological, nuclear. It remains only to increase the degree of blackmail by transferring bombers capable of carrying a nuclear charge to the border with Norway. Russia has concentrated 7 Tu-160 bombers and 4 Tu-95 bombers at the Olynya air base near the Norwegian border. 2 days later, the satellite recorded 1 Tu-160 on the runway of the airbase. EU diplomacy chief Josep Borrell warns, there is a nuclear threat and Putin says he is not bluffing. It should be clearly understood that the people who support Ukraine, the European Union with its member states, and the United States with NATO are not bluffing either. Any nuclear attack against Ukraine will trigger a military response, not nuclear, but so powerful that the Russian army will be completely destroyed. This is a serious moment in history. The EU must show unity, power and full determination. The world is tired of Putin's multidisciplinary blackmail, now playing on gas pipes, now beating the nuclear drum. Everyone is interested in the speedy end of the war, and that the aggressor retired to his cave, from where he began to pay for the damage. The world even agrees to live without the Russians and their resources, to isolate themselves from these wild tribes and keep them at a distance as long as necessary, until they sober up. After all, Putin is not eternal, and his entourage, too. According to the Financial Times, the Ukrainian army is able to recapture Kherson and regain control of the right bank of the Dnieper as early as next week. And the more the armed forces of Ukraine push the occupiers, the closer the moment of truth. Systemic maggots have accelerated the movement towards the urgent creation of a government in exile. It is important for their curators to pick up the falling crown and put another imperial tadpole on the head. For this, they pay for the publication of navalnist proclamations in leading U.S. publications, push their film about the life of the leader to the Oscar committee, and even offer to remove part of the sanctions from Russia in exchange for the release of the Russian Mandela. The main trouble is that there are no pure inhabitants in the cave collector, and deep rabble, ready to drown Putin, can only generate a new Putin, in the name of a new revenge. Is the country plundered? Blame the West, which wants to seize our resources. So, we will fight with the West. That's the whole simple logic, in the paradigm of which the current war with NATO is being waged, which has not yet appeared at the last macaque, but is confidently extinguishing the depth experts with the forces of the Ukrainian army. Funerals have already poured into Russia. A little more, and deep mourning will cover her, developing into depression and a tsunami of internal chaos. A desperate battle of all against all will tear the empire apart from the inside, when it becomes finally clear that the external war is lost. And here is one of two things: either the system will regroup and have time to wring the neck of Putin and his entourage, shifting all the blame for the Ukrainian adventure to the bankrupt group and presenting the world with a new, so far plush, leader, or Putin will give the order to launch a nuclear strike, after which the enraged empire will be subjected to a devastating preventive strike, but without the use of nuclear technology by the West. Because it is impossible to punish barbarians by barbarous methods, and the cynical military-industrial complex will get a unique experience of testing the latest technologies on a vast test site.